MFA Networking Podcast promotes successful business experts. I'm Tom Rioch, known as the King of Networking, connecting people throughout the world from my podcast studio in Brazil. Joining us today from the United Kingdom is Erin Andrea Craske, a specialist in empowering businesses, conscious business rebels to achieve success on their own terms, executive coaching and business advisory. She's fiercely authentic. Erin, why authenticity isn't for the faint-hearted?
Well, first of all, Tom, thank you very much for inviting me and for having me here. So with regards to your question, it is actually a very good question. I thought about it before, that it is quite a challenge, but with time, my way of thinking has changed a little bit, and I will explain you where I'm coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are authentic and you live by your own rules and you are comfortable with yourself and you're not maybe comfortable with the society, because, often they're just opposite. In the beginning, the first step is to realize that you are different. And this is probably the most challenging step, because that happened to me before when I was younger. I know that I don't follow the norms. I don't follow gender stereotypes for my behavior. I don't follow the behavior required from the corporate environment where I'm supposed to fit in. So in the beginning, it does actually create tension because you are not like everybody, and sometimes people don't perceive you for who you are. They perceive you as antagonists to what they know is the right way of living, being, and behaving. So this bit is a little bit challenging. When you come to the point when you realize that, you know what, I'm different and I don't care.
Right.
And from this place, it took me a good few years. It didn't happen over time, probably in my 30s, closer to my 40s, when actually I come to terms that, okay, I'm not like everybody else. And so what? Do I really need to suffer?
Right.
And from this place, things became easier. So it is a lifelong challenge, but it can get easier. And then I went through the period of personal transformation, like deep personal awakening, when not only I came to the point of complete 100% self-acceptance, but I also got rid of everything that society and our conditioning tell us. You see, so it's not
what
like
they're telling us and what society is telling us generally is to conform.
Exactly. But I stopped being me against the norm, air quotes. I just don't have the norm anymore because it has nothing to do with me. So you come to the place of complete freedom. It's freedom inside because you are free to be who you really are. But it's also freedom from external pressure because it no longer matters. Right? So you come to the place where it's absolutely comfortable to be different because, again, people, it's like, oh my God, that's my favorite quote. Be who you are and say what you feel because those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind.
So is that what, for your coaching and for your business advisory, is that what you take to the table?
Yes. So obviously, I don't want my clients to go through the transformation period as I did, because in my case, it took around 5 to 7 years altogether, and I didn't surrender, and I was fighting through the whole thing, and I made it as painful for myself as it was only possible, right? You don't need to do it. And also, I didn't know what I was going through. I learned about it only later. But with clients, you may not go as deep as I did, but under comfortable supervision of somebody who wishes you well and knows how amazingly effortless the life is the other end.
I agree with you because I mentioned before we even started, we're unique. All persons are unique. Many businesses are unique.
Yeah.
But we tend to fall back into the confirmation of what society expects or customer expects. And today there's so much fake out there So that when you come across something that's, exactly authentic, sometimes it's surprising.
You know what? That is absolutely amazing what you've just said, because everybody is unique. Yes, and I 100% believe in it. But the problem that I noticed and I faced few times working with clients, because I have different programs. My background is a brand strategy and business strategy. And often I help people to develop their own personal brand. You know what's absolutely amazing? Personal brand must be authentic.
Right.
Otherwise, it's not going to work, because you're supposed to say what you feel and blah, blah, blah. There's so many things about it.
So it's what you see is what you get, right?
Yeah. And what I ask clients, who do they want to target? They always want to target somebody else that is more inspirational, aspirational, somebody who is stronger, better, faster, louder, doesn't really matter, but not themselves.
Right.
So it seems to me that people are so uncomfortable with who they are because they always think that the grass is always greener. And that is phenomenal.
Well, they can think that, but many times we see the sign that says, don't step on the grass.
Yes, it's true. But do we really need to see the grass if we look inside ourselves and accept our uniqueness? There's one thing that I also noticed from my experience, and that is absolutely astonishing. Because I thought that I was a good person. Yes, I have massive personal integrity and respect and honesty, authenticity. So it has always been present with me, because I'm a rebel. As a rebel, you always kind of live by your own rules, right? So it's kind of easy. You fight against everybody, you kind of challenge everything, but you have to have very strong core to survive.
Right.
When we talked about, this uniqueness and that acceptance, there's something interesting that also came out of it. And that is something that I noticed in leadership. And through my personal experience, I was saying that actually, we can start from here. So I was saying that even before the transition that I made, even though I had all the fantastic qualities, that I really appreciate in people, such as integrity and respect and authenticity and honesty. So I thought of myself a kind of good person. When you transition, there's an amazing thing that you realize, that you actually are much better than you can imagine. And this is why, the coaching was born, and the programs, even for leadership, because we have so much things that we acquire over our lifetime that don't serve us. And for me, it reminds of the volcanic ash that covers soils and doesn't allow vegetation to grow through, all this young, green, energetic, things that we enjoy every spring. Because it's all covered. And when you remove this ash, you will find that inside you are the most potent, the most capable, the most powerful, and the most confident, because it is inside ourselves. We just need to be aware of it, and we need to be able to look for it, or want to look for it. And this is why I was, talking also about a leadership program, how it was born, because traditional leadership approach, you have certain leadership issues, and then you go through skills. There's one training, and there's another training, and there's another training. Most of times we don't even want to change, right? So training actually come on the not really fruitful soil. Then, it requires effort, because you need to remember, okay, in this situation, I talk about that. And this situation, I behave this way. And this is something else. All this theory, because predominantly they're theoretical, they kind of fade with time. And there's another situation, you are in stress. And what you think will show up. It's going to be your core, right? So all these skills, they're like treating symptoms, one symptom after another. And it's painful, it takes time, it takes money, and how sustainable it is, it's questionable, because it depends on one individual to another. While what I advocate as the effortless approach to leadership, let's look at your core. Let's try to get it out. Let's try to bring your absolute best.
Help everybody bloom.
Effortlessly.
Help everybody bloom.
Exactly.
So,
It's
Erin,
exactly.
how can you help our listeners bloom? How can they take off the top and find you?
Well, it can't be easier, right? If you want to look for me, you're going to find me. And the first way is to look underneath the show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that information is going to be in show notes. So not to waste your time on pronouncing my name and website address and, make it absolutely boring for everybody. Just go there and click on whatever resonates with you, whatever your heart desires.
And find you everywhere.
And your heart, what your heart may desire, actually, it may desire a couple of hours of deep, meaningful conversation with me.
Mm-hmm.
We very often, we don't feel like we're properly listened to,
Mm-hmm.
and that we're heard. And that is an amazing gift. Just show up and have a conversation, and, we'll see where it goes. There's no...
Take the first step.
Exactly, and see whether there's something that you would like to discuss.
Very
Your heart may also desire some freebies,
Mm-hmm.
very actually useful, including assessment that you can use as a blueprint for your business strategy or your leadership style, or your heart may desire a strategy book that actually was specifically written for entrepreneurs and small business owners.
Mm-hmm.
It's a complete modern marketing textbook, but it's not boring. It's not academic. It's very practical, a lot of quotes, a lot of inspirations, and everything that I learned in 20 years in big businesses, I'm sharing. So please, the book is called From Purpose to Profit.
Right.
You can find it on Amazon, or you can use our exclusive discount of 50% on the Great British Bookshop.
Very
so it's
good.
up to you, whatever resonates with you the most.
Okay, Erin, thanks again for being here with us.
Oh, thank you for inviting me.
And again, for our listeners, it's Erin Andrea Craske, ErinAndrea, and the last name is Craske. She's on LinkedIn and her site, which is erinandreacraske.com. Cafe Networking is brought to us by Focus MI Market Intelligence, an agricultural market research specialist in Brazil. More information at focusmi.com. Talk to Tom, talk to the world. Thanks for listening. Till the next time here at Cafe and Networking Podcast.